Hello and welcome to my today's video, in which I am going to speak about the topic which is going to fuck me up so bad. It's gonna hurt, but it's okay. The topic about creative struggle. I have been noticing it for quite some time that a lot of K-pop producers, they public K-pop producers, the ones who are also performers, they sometimes express this frustration and pain and suffering while they create something. There are videos of I remembered about it because of Hongjoong actually, and this video where he's making, I think he was making mods, and I hope it's the way you pronounce it. And he looked. I will try to find this video and put it in here. But he was like really struggling with it. And also I think he says at some point, either in this video or in some other video, that the more the headache, the better the song. And it's something that I can really relate to, because when I'm making these videos, very often I have this like some form of pain one way or another. Sometimes it's like in the heart, sometimes it's in the head, sometimes it's somewhere else, sometimes it's just generally very heavy. And I've seen other videos of, for example, Yoongi speaking about how hard it was to make his D-Day album, and him being like, "Kashibal," walking around his studio, hitting sofas. And also Namjoon being not very cheerful while he was making his album. And also, I remember this video of Jisung lying on the sofa. I will try to find all these videos in the middle of the process, like being semi-conscious, I think. But Jisung, like maybe he was in the middle of his own difficult situation with mental health, but it's probably all interconnected as well. Because there is something inherently unpleasant and uncomfortable and painful about creating something. And there are actually different levels to it. And I'm actually making this video because, very often people think that expressing themselves is supposed to be easy. But it's not. It's not how it works for a number of reasons. And I'm not sure that I will be able to explain the reasons in this video, but at least I will try to explain the parts that I am able to explain and describe as if for now. So, as I mentioned, there are different levels to this discomfort of creating something, and some of them are purely social and come from the way that we were brought up, because we live in the world where most of the people give up on their dreams. And creating and creativity and creation is actually only possible if you have a dream. If you have a dream of creating something, if you have a dream of fulfilling something, if you have a dream of influencing some people or something like that. This is like the only condition under which people do create, because they want to achieve something, because they want to achieve their dreams. And because a lot of people give up on their dreams, they also create conditions, social conditions, in which it's really a very weird, divided, mixed signals that society sends to us. Because on the one hand, from every fucking iron you hear that you have to follow your dreams, but on the other hand, whenever you do follow your dreams, you either get hate or criticism or just ignorance. Because people who gave up on their dreams will always try to punish you for following yours. That's the nature of how it is, the psychological way of how people do it. And from the number of haters and from the amount of hate that everybody who creates anything receives, you can, imagine how right I am about this. So one part of creative struggle is overcoming this sense of, like, we all know that whenever we create something, it's either going to be ignored or hated. Maybe some people will appreciate it, but it will either be ignored or hated, generally. So one part of overcoming this creative struggle is actually overcoming and preparing yourself for that. Yes, hate will come. One way or another, hate will come and you will have to handle it. And for some people, it's very difficult. For all the people, it's very difficult. And it requires a lot of dedication and focus. So this is one part of the creative struggle. Another part of the creative struggle is the ultimate need to decide. Because when something does not exist, it can be any way. And while you are making it, while you are creating it, on each stage of it, you are making a decision about how it's going to be. Like when I'm making this video, I make a decision, like internally, I make a decision about every word that I'm going to say. Not like consciously, but generally, right? This video can go anyway, whenever I want to lead it. So I have to make a decision about how it is formed. Like when there is no song, for example, created yet, it can be anyway, it can be in any form. And the creator, the producer, has to make decisions about how it's going to be, about how it's going to go. So this, like some part of this creative struggle is connected with the fact that we have to make decisions. And it's really hard for people to make decisions, especially to make a lot of consecutive decisions in the long term. So this is another part of the creative struggle. But there is also a part of the creative struggle which is very inherent and very mysterious for me still, kind of. Because like one aspect of it I understand, but there is still something very mysterious about it for me. When I, for example, create something, and I believe that when people create something really significant, like when some songs are written which really mean something, which are not just, a sum of sounds and words that are meant to hit the charts, but when it actually has this energetic, meaningful charge, the charge of the sense. Sense is a Ukrainian word of meaning. I said it so confidently. Sense of meaning. There is this aspect which makes creating something, like fulfilling something into a physical form, very unpleasant, because when it is in your head, not just, it's not even in the head, you can see it in the realm of ideas, let's say. Some idea to express some law of nature, or some idea to express something how it is, or some idea to express some part of your experience, but in the way that you actually feel it. It is very multi-dimensional. It's not like 3 dimensions to it. It's like endless amount of dimensions to it. It's very ethereal and therefore very multi-dimensional, let's say. But when you put it into a physical form, it loses dimension immediately. It loses its depth. It loses its facets. And it's almost impossible to, I think it's impossible to bring something from the realm of ideas into the physical reality without it losing dimension. And this is not a part of the creative struggle, because the way you see it is still very different from the way you can fulfill it, always. Even if you have all the possibilities, even if you have incredible talent, even if you have endless amounts of money for fulfilling it, it still will lack dimension compared to how you saw it. And that's another part of the creative struggle. But also there is this inherent pain that is probably connected with the fact that whenever you create something, you have to stretch. You have to stretch your psychic to allow this thing from the realm of ideas to get into physical reality through you. So you kind of become, like a person becomes like a channel. And this energy of this idea from the realm of ideas, it triggers a lot of things inside of us. It triggers our pain that we already have inside of us. But it triggers our consciousness, making us realize more things about ourselves than we used to. It triggers our traumas for some reason, because it stretches us. It expands our consciousness so that we can transmit it. But this expansion of consciousness also brings up the pain of us that we were not conscious about. I feel like this is my feeling. It's just genuinely unpleasant to stretch like this. And this is another part of the creative struggle. And I feel like this is the part that gives us headache and heartache and just general feeling that it's very unpleasant. I know in the D-Day album, in the package of the D-Day album, there is photo book. And in the photo book, on the last page, there are some words from Yoongi. And I don't remember a single word from it because it was in Korean and I read it through the translator. But I remember the general sense from it. And the general sense from it is that I don't ask me how I did it. I just did it. It was hard. This is the general message of those words that Yoongi wrote on the last page of his photo book from the Day album. And this is exactly how it happens. This is exactly how it happens. And, I didn't know if I would bring up this person or not. And I'm probably going to, because, what kind of a video it is without mentioning Chon Chun-guk. I want to mention him because every time I think about Jungkook and what he creates, I have this sense that he doesn't really express something that he has inside of him. And to some, I felt it, I've always felt this way about, well, maybe not always, but from some point, probably from the point when I had Decalcomania, and I found out that it was never released, I had this feeling in my head, in my heart, about him, that he's not fulfilling something that he has inside of him. And until lately, I wasn't sure why. And I'm still not sure, but I have a feeling, recently I rewatched the performance of My Time of Jungkook. And My Time is one of the things that he actually created, I feel like. It's actually the expression of something that he deeply has inside of him. Like, there are a couple of more songs like that. Well, maybe My Time, My You, and the Calcomnia that was never fully released. And the performance of My Time feels like he's suffering through it. After you've heard it, after you've heard what I said, just rewatch the performance and you will see what I'm speaking about. It feels like it hurts him every fucking second of this performance. And I was speaking in some other video, I was mentioning Golden, his album Golden, which is a wonderful album, basically. But it's not him. It is him, but it's not the part of him which is really worth expressing, which the world wants him to express. Not the world, not society-wise, but like universe, God, his internal higher self. Again, as it seems to me. I don't know why I'm so sensitive towards Jungkook. I'm like, there is something in him. He's a very special person. He is like, all the successful idols are in a way special. And BTS are very special out of all of the idols. But Jungkook he's special even amongst BTS members. And there is so much of this energetic charge in him. And I feel like this thing that I'm speaking about, this creative struggle, is the way why he is not letting it out. Because it hurts. Because it hurts him so much to let it out. Because when he does it, it's not just the words that he sings. It's not just the way he performs. It's not just the shape of it, but it's this energetic charge that it carries. This heaviness, this depth, this endlessness. I don't know how to explain it. But I understand why he is not really expressing it. But on the other hand, I see that this thing that he's not expressing is hurting him from the inside, because that's what ideas do. Because when there is something that needs to be expressed, when you don't express it, it is hurting you from the inside. And it's like, I don't know, it's a very crappy situation, right? Because you either hurt creating or you hurt not creating. But my answer is to still create. Because at least when you create, you have this sense of fulfillment and pleasure from, like, it feels very right. It feels like you do something that is to be done. But of course, like, maybe I don't carry as much heaviness as Jungkook does. Maybe it is easier for me. Probably it is easier for me and for other people as well. But I hope that he'll come to it as well at some point. Because, the things that we are meant to express are never more than we can actually express. It may hurt to express them, but it's still possible and still required, actually. It's the only way to feel right. This pain of creation is much, much more bearable than the pain of not creating, actually. At least it seems like that for me. And there is one more thing. I said it in another video on another blog of mine about creation, that, the same way as when, for example, a woman gives birth to a child, we need to treat our creation the same way. It hurts to do it. It's very unpleasant. But at the same time, there is so much love in this. There is so much love in doing this, in fulfilling this, in putting it into a physical form. And that's what is important to concentrate on. Love and acceptance. Love and acceptance of a child, but also love and acceptance of what you create. Even though it doesn't seem perfect, and even though it hurts you to do it, to still love and accept it. Because that's a part of you and a part of God that went through you into the world. And apparently this is the video. Yeah, apparently this is the video. The flow that was going through me is gone. So I can finish the video now. Thank you for watching. See you next time.